The Miami Heat continue to make moves after going out there and making another sneaky signing, this time for guard Dru Smith. I'm here to break down the brand new contract as well as whether or not it was the right move for Miami going forward. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, please do remember, help us hit our new goal of 5,000 subscribers by going down and clicking the subscribe button if you're a part of the percentage watching this video not currently subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys so very much for everything. But now let's get to it and break down, was this the right move for Miami? And really, what move are we talking about and breaking down? It's the 3-year deal that was just given to Dru Smith. Now, it was broken by Shams, and it's interesting to say the absolute least. And the reason being is because, well, Dru Smith has been a part of this Heat organization on two-way contracts for the last 3 years, and every single time, every single season he gets a chance to play, it ends in devastating injury. Now, it's not a good thing by any means. Obviously, Dru Smith is at this point, he's not very young, but he's still relatively young into his basketball career and really his professional career at that. And he's had glimpses in the very small amount of reps we've been able to see from him on the professional level to highlight his overall abilities. Now, in doing so, I'm not going to say he's been really underwhelming or really give him an overall grade of what we have witnessed, because there's not a lot of reps. 14 games last year, 9 the year before that, 10 before that, 5 the year before that, and then 15 in 2022-2023. Overall, like, the sample size is just simply not there to go out there and actually assess this kid and how great he actually could be. Now, is there optimism? Is there a little bit of hope? Of course, because we've seen glimpses of him play. But really and truly, what can we truly expect from this young man? All we can really hope for is the fact that he stays healthy and we get a full season's worth of work that we can go off of. But up to this point in the year, he hasn't even scratched 82 games in 5 seasons or 4 seasons. It's just, he's been so riddled with injuries, and they're substantial injuries. Knee injuries to his ACL or MCL, and then down to his ankle with his Achilles tendon. These are substantial injuries in any professional sport anyone could play, and the fact the Miami Heat were willing to go out there and give him a 3-year deal is a bit interesting. Now, we have an article here written by Barry Jackson that gives us some good insight of really what the Miami Heat could have done if they didn't give this contract to Dru Smith. Now, I will mention, the movement of Haywood Highsmith to Brooklyn took them under the salary cap, and they had the ability to go out there and sign one more player for this type of contract in the sense of overall price given to them and overall cost given to them. And rather than going out and getting another big, whether it's a power forward or a stretch 5 or really just a legitimate center, they went out there and they gave Dru Smith, who we've already acknowledged the injuries. But I just don't know why. So the deal is 3 years, roughly $8 million. We'll call it 7.8. Damn near $8 million. And now let's break down this article written by Barry Jackson, Flash Sports Buzz on Twitter. If you don't follow him already, go do it. He goes on to say, guard Dru Smith, who impressed the Heat early last season before sustaining a season-ending Achilles injury, agreed to a 3-year, $7.9 million deal with Miami on Saturday, a league source confirmed. According to the source, Smith's modest first-year salary is fully guaranteed. The second and third years have conditional guarantees. There's optimism that Smith, who sustained a non-contract injury in late December, will be able to play either by the start of the regular season on October 22nd, Orlando, or very soon after. So Dru Smith isn't even for sure going to be ready to start this NBA season. And despite that, the Heat went in this direction. Again, another little, I won't say red flag, but it certainly is not a green flag. Now we move on. By shipping out Highsmith, who was due $5.6 million, and replacing him with Smith, who is expected to make no more than half of that, Miami will stand just below the luxury tax threshold. The Heat can add a 15th player in the second half of next season and remain below the tax threshold. There are no current plans to add a 15th player at this time. The Heat opted to sign Smith instead of a backup center such as Kai Jones, who auditioned for Miami last week, or veteran center Trey Lyles, who has also been linked to Miami. So 2 other options there that have been at least linked, if not actually worked out for this Heat organization in private settings and private workouts, and they still went with another guard in Dru Smith. Is this because they anticipate moving Terry Rozier in one way or another by the end of the summer? I could see that as a possibility, but how much faith and how many reps and how much confidence do you actually have in Dru Smith? And not his overall abilities, even though there's been a lack of production and really proof behind that as well, but just the injuries and the ability or the hope that he will stay healthy this up and coming season. I think this is a very interesting move by Miami. Did they go out there and get more depth? Absolutely. But will it come at a cost? You can't really say it won't. Haywood Highsmith is now gone. They needed another player. They went out and got another guard. Pat Riley, I'm not sure if this was the best move you could have made going forward. If you move Terry Rozier and Dru Smith stays healthy, that is the best case scenario. You will have Kasparis as a backup point guard, Tyler Hero, Devion Mitchell, and Dru Smith. Terry Rozier will then be out of the situation, or out of the equation, I should say. You could go out and get a 14th player, and then by the halfway point of next season, you could add that 15th player and avoid the tax. So if this is my guess, this is my estimate based off the information that we know up to this point that is absolutely true. As currently constructed, the point guard room is a bit crowded for Miami, but there is an outlier in that room. Obviously, Tyler Hero is going to be the starter. Devion Mitchell is going to be the number 2 guy. But following that, at the number 1 position, at the point guard position, you have Kasparis, who can be a 1 or a 2, but is a point guard. You also now have Dru Smith. Will he be ready to go by game 1? Probably not. Let's anticipate game 8 to 10 for Dru Smith. If not any earlier, I'm saying game 5. I don't think they try to rush him back at game 2 or 3. If he's not ready to go for game 1, I think they'd let a week go by, allow a little bit of game to go through, and then plug Dru Smith in more complementary roles, coming off as a 7th, 8th, or 9th guy off the bench to fill in minutes at the point guard position, because they won't have to rush him back due to the depth. The one name we didn't mention is Terry Rozier. Terry Rozier, if he were to be moved, I think, again, is the best case scenario, not only for this situation, but for the Miami Heat organization as a whole. If Terry Rozier is moved, you open up a roster spot. You also open up a little bit of cap room, unless they have to flat out waive him and eat his contract, which I really and truly hope does not happen, even though he's going into the final year of his, 3-year deal with Miami. You don't want to eat that contract. You want to be able to go out there and spend that money without eating it on the books. And so my anticipation, Terry Rozier is going to be cut, moved in any facet of the imagination from this Miami Heat organization. And when that happens, Dru Smith's minutes will then increase. And I think it will happen early in the NBA season, if not before this regular season actually begins, putting Miami in a position to go out there and not only add another player, but obviously maybe even another player, 2 players, because one at the deadline as well as one in a Terry Rozier transaction, if all hell doesn't break loose and Miami just has to flat out cut him from the team. Again, that is my overall prediction. Dru Smith will then come back around game 8 or 10, and again, my estimations, and he will play. And if he plays well and he stays healthy, I could see his minutes increasing by the season going on. I hope that is the case. I hope he's otherworldly productive. But if Miami having a lack of depth at center on the main stage for the NBA league, if you will, rather than a G League affiliate, I think it could be problematic. I hope they go out there and fill this void with just a complimentary guy to come off the bench and fill minutes in when Bam or Kel'el Ware or Jovic are in foul trouble. Let me know down below your overall thoughts and opinions on this move for Miami, and I'll see you guys on the next episode of Heat Digest.